Hello and welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage and today we're going to be having a look at Quant again. It's been a while since we've looked at this video, so we're going to be talking about a few things that have changed and where we think it's going. Before we jump into that, I'd just like to say thank you for watching the video. If you're enjoying the content, smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and why not leave us some feedback down in the comment section below. This really helps us out, and we love the interaction with you guys, so just feel free to post anything in there, whether that's stuff you want to see in videos or whatever you want to say, really. Okay, so let's get into the content. So what we were looking at here, I'm still looking for the potential that we have either this as a 1-2 or potentially as a A and a B, and then looking for that C wave to the downside. So I'm still expecting some downside here, whether it plays out as a 5-wave move or just a 3-wave move as an ABC. We'll basically just we have to wait and see how the structure plays out. So it is possible that we could actually have completed a wave 2 here, and this is a 1-2, and then we could actually start to break down here. However, there is also still possibilities that we could be looking for more upside here and potentially even a breakout. So if you want to see all the options, just make sure you stay with the video to the end. We'll walk through them one at a time, and then we'll talk about invalidation points and everything between them. Okay, so within this, I'm going to turn off this downside potential here, so the screen's a bit clearer. What we can be looking at first, let's talk about the direct breakdown. So we're talking about the potential we could have our wave 2 here. So we were looking at this potentially, if I actually throw it back on you, because I wanted to keep it here so I can show everyone. We were initially looking for this 4th wave to come down into this target area here. Though we did move up now, and we've actually crossed this wave 1 here, which has basically invalidated this as a 5-wave move as we have it shown here. So now this gives us a few options, because we haven't broken back above this high point of 27.05 and also this zone here of this 133. Effectively, we could still be within a structure to the downside. And what we'd have to look at is that either potentially we've completed here as a 1-2, so this would be a 1, we're forming a wave 2, or alternatively, we have some extension where this is a 1-2, this is additional 1, and then we're forming another 2 here. And we're going to look to carry on to break down from there. So let's talk about that option. If I turn this back off and we go back to the one we were looking at. So there is potential here that we could be forming this, where we have a 1-2 for our first 1-2. Basically, then all of this could then become a secondary 1 and a 2. So it is possible that this wave 2 completed here. Alternatively, we could be looking to push back to the upside here and look to come deeper within this zone here. So this zone we'd be targeting out to this 123.3 all the way down to this 116.8. This would sort of be the higher range of the target we would look at, and basically moving above this 127.5 would invalidate this 5-wave move to the downside here that we have marked out. So it is possible, however, that because we didn't break this low point here, that we could be looking at this as a complex wave 2, where we have a W, an X, and then a Y wave to the upside. And if that was the case, basically what we'd be looking at, if I take this Fibonacci from here, is we could potentially look to come back up to this and form a double top here, where we look to target out this 1118 at a 1-to-1. If we do push past that zone, this 1118.9 would be an interesting area, and like I said, that 123.3 as sort of a higher range target. If we do push back up into this zone and we do start to get continuation to the downside, what we would be looking for then, depending on how high we go, I've worked it off this 0.618 retracement, but a move down towards this $82 would actually confirm this wave 3. And then we would still be looking out for the fact that we'd have an additional 4th, 5th to the downside. So this would look to target out towards this 79.7 to the 75.6. So this is all just based off of the fib retracement and fib extension levels. So we need to obviously wait and see how exactly the waves form, because that's more important. Like I said, this direct sell-off effectively would become invalidated by moving back above this 133 zone. So that is the potential for downside here, where we could be looking for this to push up a little bit higher back into this box and then looking to break to the downside. So there are some bullish potentials here. One other thing that I want to talk about, if we're talking about the potential of forming an ABC to the downside. Basically, we have a 5-wave move into this low. And then we could have something else going on here. If we're looking at this as a ABC, what we could actually have is a triangle within this shape here. And the way we would be looking at this is that the fact that our wave C would actually have started to get more complex. So this could be lower down, and it could be something like this, and we could actually look to start breaking down for this D wave now, or alternatively we could look to push up a little bit higher. The invalidations for this triangle would basically come, if I come back into 1 hour here. So invalidations for this as a triangle would come by breaking above this 133 or breaking down below this 101. Otherwise, it is possible we could still see this play out as a triangle, in which case what we'd be looking for then is, if I jump back here onto the 4 hourly, is a potential that we could be looking at this as just an ABC move to the downside. And we take this from this high point to this low point, and look at it we'll go from the high point here. That could potentially take us down to this 155.2 if it develops as a triangle within this space. So we need to keep an eye on it. If we just continue to go range bound and sit and sort of between these trend lines, it then becomes possible that we could actually be looking to break down. We could argue the triangle could potentially be the other way from here, where this is an A, then we have this as an A, B, C, D, E, and we'd look to break to the upside. Though I think the structure fits a bit better looking at it like this, and it does sort of tie in a bit more with what ETH and BTC are looking to do. So if you haven't watched those videos, it might be worth giving them a check out as well. Okay, so if we have a look at, it is also possible we could just be forming a more complex structure here, and this would be looking at the potential of looking at the bigger wave 2 here. It could be possible we just have a bigger complex move playing out here, which were playing out, basically would be looking to target out. If I go to this high point here, down to this low point, would be looking to target out to this 140 zone. Actually, this is not quite on there. Let's get it up there. Okay, 142.6. So that could be a 1-to-1 if we do progress to the upside in a more complex move here, and that would bring us quite close into this retracement zone. So like I said, there is a few options here. We need to see how these waves progress, because if we continue to hold these lows and set higher lows here, it's possible we could still look for more of a move up into this zone, though only really by breaking above this 228 zone will we invalidate the potential for having extension to the downside. So we need to just be careful. And like I said, with ETH and BTC, we're expecting a pullback with them, so we just need to be aware of that. Okay, so within this, there is a slightly more bullish way of looking at this as well, and we're going to cover this off now. If we look at this move, it's a 5-wave move up. So we can count this as a diagonal within this first bit here. Basically, where this is a 1, 2, this would be 3, 4, and 5 into this high point. So it'd be a contracting diagonal in here. And effectively then what we'd be looking for is the potential that we have either this is an A, so this would be a 1 or an A, this is a B, and then looking for that C wave to the upside. So I'd be looking for a 5-wave move to the upside. Though currently I don't see the structure within this. We can argue that this has been a 5-wave move here, and then the structure just doesn't fit very nicely as an impulse within this. So we did come back into the support zone, which we had called out a while back, and we have resettled into it, but we've tested this bottom horizontal support 4 times now. So whether this continues to hold is going to be interesting, because we're not bouncing as far away from it now, so we need to see if we can manage to get further away from this. Otherwise, basically buyers will start to lose confidence in this zone, and we could look to break down, and that would take us into that direct sell-off situation which we were looking for as a downwards potential. Though looking at this bullish potential within here, we could look at this as an ABC, so if it's an ABC, the target area would be this 141.7. However, if it's a bigger 5-wave move, we'd be looking to target out this 174.8. Though, like I said, there isn't good structure here at the moment for this. It is possible that it could develop into something. But basically what I would want to see, if we were looking for good, if we were going to call this a wave 1, I'd want to see a move above this 130.1 zone, and then we could start talking about the fact that this could be a 1, 2, 3, then we'd look for 4 and a 5. Obviously this would probably be a 1, 2, 1, 2 if that does play out, and then we'd look for some additional structure here. So this basically would want to move back above this 130.1 for this to sort of even have any kind of possibility here, because like I said, we've got the triangle, we've got the complex move. There's a lot of things that can happen here, so we just need to bear that in mind. And this is sort of a bullish breakout that I'm just keeping an eye on. As long as we hold this 94.3, it is possible that we could still see something like this, though losing this would indicate that we are actually starting to sell off again and probably going to look for those lower targets. Okay, so we're going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, please. This helps us out. We're a small channel trying to grow, and it really does make a big difference to us. Also, leave us some comments in the feedback down below. Okay, I hope everyone has a great day and enjoy the rest of your weekend, everybody. Take care.